Hey everybody, welcome back to Going for Two with Jack Taylor. My name is Jack Taylor.
My name's Hunter too.
And this is episode number, insert episode number here. And we're just so glad to be back for another weekend of Mississippi State baseball. Last week we were in Missouri. When will the pain and suffering end? Tweet should have been posted.
Go Burr.
And, so coming off of a series loss against Missouri after a very impressive Friday night game where what was the final score of that one? We won by quite a bit. It was a pretty comfortable game. Let me get it here. And it was 13-4. And then came out on Saturday. We scored in the first inning. Looked like everything was going well. Preston Johnson gives up a grand slam in the first inning. And we keep battling back. We keep scoring runs here and there. But Missouri scored in like 7 out of 9 innings, and we lose the game 19-8. And going on to Sunday, we lose the game 7-6 on a walk-off home run. It was another game where we just kept battling back, but we just couldn't stop Missouri from scoring. And we said last week, this is a scrappy lineup. They stay in games. They play a lot of close games.
But we should have beat them.
We should have beat them, yeah.
People did it, so
even though they're staying close, they're still losing series every weekend. So it was a tough pill to swallow, and for most fans, I mean, that was the nail in the coffin. That was the end of our season, but there is still something to play for.
There's a path.
Yeah, there's a path. I mean, still an opportunity to get to those 14 or 15 wins. Still,
I mean, if you look at the standings, it doesn't look like anyone's going to get, other than like the top 3 teams that are like in great position to get to 15 wins. Yeah. I mean, Tennessee's already there.
And Arkansas is going to be there.
Georgia's going to be there. LSU will be right there.
Yeah. So it's a down year for a lot of teams in the SEC.
Yeah, we're a game behind Vanderbilt. Yeah. And due to the fact that they don't have fans, you don't hear about that.
Yeah. Our poor play is very loud because we're the defending national champions for one thing, and we have the biggest fan base in the country. And if you're listening to this podcast, you probably follow at least some accounts that cover Mississippi State, so you're probably seeing that negativity. But we are here to say there is still a path, and more than likely we'll still be in Hoover. So if we need wins down the stretch there, surely we'll break our hearts in Hoover instead of in Starkville.
Yeah, I mean, the last Mississippi State team to lose 2 out of 3 to Missouri, I mean, remind me what they did.
They got a cupcake path through their regional and super regional. They had to play a terrible Notre Dame team, and they got a cupcake walk through their side of the bracket in Omaha, and then
having to play garbage teams like Texas, Virginia, Texas.
And they got just a cupcake and didn't have to play NC State. They had to play a well-rested Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker instead.
The literal second best pitcher in the world at that moment.
Yeah.
I wonder who that was.
Will Bednar.
Yeah. No, he was the best.
Oh, okay.
Second best.
Cops.
No. He got charged with the loss. Mm-hmm. Bednar didn't get charged with a loss in the postseason. Did he?
No. He beat Samford. He beat Notre Dame.
I was wondering what game he started against Notre Dame.
It was game 1, but he didn't get a win in that one. But he didn't get a loss.
Better than
Texas. Beat Texas. Beat Vanderbilt. So this dude was awesome. But anyway, there is a path, and part of that path is losing to Missouri. I mean, it had to be done to guarantee our second straight national title. So you can honestly, you can just give us the trophy already. We're winning out from here.
These are what Jack says does not reflect the opinions of both members of this podcast. Just want to get that one out there while we're being a little silly right here.
Yeah. And before we get into all this, I really did want to bring light. We thought about maybe doing another draft, but
we also didn't post that at all.
Yeah, didn't. But we'll post it this week, right? Okay.
Yeah. So just act like we did the draft right here.
Yeah. There you go. Insert draft here. But we wanted to talk a little bit about something that's been on our minds lately. Y'all versus us. the West Jones versus Wayne County rivalry that had been going on for like 4 years at the time.
Maybe 6.
Maybe 6 years at the time. It was the center of a documentary about Mississippi high school football rivalries, while other schools had been competing against each other since 1928. I don't know how we got the spotlight on us, but I remember as a third grader being like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. To get on this, there's a little book made about it and had like all the other rivalries. I started looking. I was like, how is Laurel versus Hattiesburg not on here?
Yeah.
Like, at all.
Yeah.
And then we got the show.
So there were books written about it. It was all over the news. There's a documentary on YouTube. You can go back and watch, individual episodes of it. But man, it's pretty much a core memory in my elementary school.
I have the book right here, and I'm gonna go to the first time that they played. It's not often you see me with a book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first time that they played was 2003.
Mm-hmm.
This was coming out in like 2008.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they played twice in 2003, once in 2004, twice in 2005, once in 2006, and once in 2007.
I bet West Jones has won several state championships since that came out, right?
At least one.
At least one, yeah. And had a bunch of NFL players come out.
One maybe soon.
Maybe soon. Okay.
Alan Follis.
Love you, Alan. Micah Stockstill?
It could be Micah. Wonder if there's anyone playing at like a big time D1 program. Some would say like the best in the country.
Charles Cross?
No. He was another one from a more deserving rivalry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Laurel High School. Bryce Young? No.
No. That sounds right though.
Is it Byron Young went to Tennessee?
Oh yeah. Byron Young, Tennessee.
Yeah. He's a defensive end there.
Defensive end.
Byron Young.
Alabama.
I think so.
Yeah, that could be it. Future first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. That's like.
We love you, Byron.
That's crazy to see. Like.
Working hard to get Byron on the podcast at some point.
I don't think he's gonna come on the podcast.
Probably not. He hates Mississippi.
Best thing he ever did was leave to go to Alabama.
If you just flip Alabama
is just Mississippi with more fake tan.
Alabama is just Mississippi, but mirrored. So, same exact place.
Or maybe it's actually the exact opposite since it's mirrored.
Oh. Now we're talking about the multiverse type stuff. Right?
Mm-hmm. R.J. Yeager is going to make a cameo in Doctor Strange.
Multiverse of Midness. Alright, so let's talk about the Missouri series a little bit. I mean, I know we talked about it, just talked about the results of it at least, but Brandon Smith, undoubtedly,
is the best pitcher
the best pitcher right now. Yeah, for sure. Cade Smith and Preston Johnson both got touched up quite a bit, but Brandon Smith, I think, went into the 8th inning of this game, so he went at least 7. Let me look at it real quick. You keep talking.
Okay, I'll keep talking. This is what I do when I talk. Brandon Smith has just really came out and been the Brandon Smith that we needed for the season.
Yeah.
And he goes out here and has these fantastic starts. And it's...
Yeah, he did everything we could ask for. He went 7 1/3, 9 hits, 3 earned runs, a couple walks, 8 strikeouts. Game. Yeah, and Drew Talley comes in and closes it out with an inning and 2/3. Final score was 11-4. It's exactly what final score was 13-4. Excuse me. Brandon Smith just while we have a depleted bullpen. First of all, he came in, became a starter, and was able to save the bullpen by just going into the 8th inning of games. Mm-hmm. He had an unfortunate outing in the Ole Miss game last week where the only big hit he gave up was the 3-run home run to Kevin Graham in the first inning. So that gave him a loss, but it just took an unbelievable pitching performance from Ole Miss to beat him. So,
and apparently, Delush went out there against Arkansas and had a similar performance.
yeah.
So it's not just like
Not just us. Like this dude is just hitting a stride right now. But the very, very terrible game on Saturday.
the game that hurt.
Yeah. This game, like I just kept on putting my phone down, looking at it, and then seeing that Missouri had scored this many more runs. Final score was 19-4. Like I said, Preston Johnson comes in, gives up 9 runs in 4 innings. Did strike out 10, but that seems, to be not as impressive.
Inflated because he saw, no telling how many batters.
Yeah.
21.
Yeah, so 10 strikeouts, but gave up 9 runs in 4 innings. Then Cam Teller comes in, gives up 7 runs in 1 inning.
He faced 25 batters.
Preston?
Yeah.
Yeah, dang. Cam Teller, he's been pitching really well lately. The midweek against Ole Miss for the Governor's Cup, he had a really good outing there, but gives up 7 runs in 1 inning, and that's brutal. Mikey Tepper comes in, goes 2/3 of an inning, and gives up 3 runs. And then Cole Cheatham, I think, was the pitcher who gave Missouri their first scoreless inning of the game, and he goes 2 1/3 without any runs given up. Which is just unbelievable. But I can imagine that Missouri was hitting pinch hitters at that point. So final score, like I said, 19-8. Was that what is that? Yeah, 19-8, and sets up a rubber match on Sunday. And let me go to this one. Cade Smith with the start, and this one, like we always see on Sundays or Saturday, the last game of the series. We had Cade Smith. He went 4 2/3 with 5 earned runs. Pico Collin comes in for 1 inning, gives up no runs, and then Casey Hunt has a really good 2 innings, but in the 9th he gives up the walk-off home run. So that hurts. We lose the series when we really needed a series win. We really could have used a series sweep there, but it's. It hurts.
Yeah. Last week we talked about how the path's pretty easy if you sweep or win this series.
Yeah.
Like honestly, the numbers line up. You can lose the series coming up and be fine as long as you salvage one in the last 2 games. But with this being a series loss,
because you start thinking about it. If we had swept that series. You go into the Florida series saying if you win 2 here, you just got to win 1 against A&M, 1 against Tennessee, and that's all. That's just all you got to do. But now you have to. You don't have to. I guess it is an option to just not make the postseason. But if you want to make it, you pretty much have to sweep Florida, and then you have to win one of the series against A&M or Tennessee, both of which not looking too possible right now.
Yeah.
So I think no matter what at this point, it's going to take making it to the SEC tournament and winning a game there, at least 1 game.
And we've seen before that we are not built for a minor league ballpark.
Yeah. So
it'll be a different team in Hoover.
Usually is. Usually it's a team that plays worse than they have been in the regular season.
When was the last time Mississippi State had a win in Hoover?
Probably 2019, because we didn't play in 2020. We didn't play in 2021 either. It was kind of weird. We didn't play any games.
Nothing happened.
I don't remember any games.
Baseball is 9 innings.
Yeah. We had 2 7-inning games.
What are we playing?
Softball?
Perhaps.
I think we actually had a better SEC tournament performance than softball last year.
Remember that time that we turned around the softball season?
Yeah, if we hadn't shared that story at all or in a while, me and Hunter were just sitting in our apartment one day, obviously walking distance to any sporting event at Mississippi State, and we're like, oh, shoot, there's a softball game going on. And I was like...
We how bad were we at that point?
We were 0-9 in SEC play.
Yeah.
And Texas A&M, I think, was ranked. And we just go and watch us win a game. And from that point forward, we became a 2 seed in the regional.
And played didn't we win a game in the regional?
I think so.
We turned around the season.
But we went to 2 softball games last year. That was one of them. And then another one, I said, I'm going to go catch a foul ball, and leave. And I didn't catch one. I found one on the ground, and we left. So
we like walked around in the tennis thing looking for tennis balls.
So stupid.
Miss the good old days.
Yeah.
Tell me your wildest college story. This one time we went to a softball game and turned around the season.
This one time I went and found a foul softball.
Dude, it was crazy. You just had to be there.
Mm-hmm. People can talk about their partying days. We just talk about our dartying days. We went to a volleyball game one time.
I guess that does bring us into, we're both going to be graduated. I am already graduated. Smartest person on this podcast. Graduated faster. Don't ask about GPA. That's not real. That's someone's agenda.
What does GPA stand for?
I don't know. For reference, I may actually not know that.
What?
I know it.
Okay. I thought you'd have just a fun little...
No, it stands for GPA.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so congrats to Jack for graduating. When's graduation?
Next Friday. So
well, everyone is invited. If you're hearing this, come to graduation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you don't have a ticket, you cannot get in.
Nah, they can get in. What are they gonna do? Stop everyone?
If everybody that listens to this podcast, I'm pretty sure the security staff could stop 20 people.
Maybe 30. 8.
Maybe 74.
Ooh, 74 on a good day.
Ooh. You know the AWLs to pile up.
It's a little weird looking at baseball season and feeling like there's not much hope. Which, I mean, I know that there's a path and everything, but it's a tough one. And I mean, if you can't trust the team to go out and win a series or be competitive in 3 games against Missouri, like,
yeah.
I mean, it feels kind of silly to be like, yeah, they can do it.
We could win 2 against Tennessee,
which I mean, Kentucky's about to.
Yeah, honestly. So, and you have to really think about it this way. Like, say we make it to the postseason, we're a 3 seed in a regional. We're not winning the regional
unless it's in Hattiesburg.
And if it's in Hattiesburg, I think we'll have enough to play for. Like, we wouldn't be playing for our Omaha hopes. We'd be playing to crush Southern Misses. Mm-hmm. But we're really just not a team built for any sort of, like, stretch of a tournament. And it's not that, like, at the beginning of the year, I think we were. But so many injuries have happened. I don't think it's like we don't have heart. We don't have this. We don't have that. It's just we're an offense that's built to hit home runs. So you put us in a stadium that doesn't fit that, we're not going to play well. Mm-hmm. And we have had 5 pitchers go out for the year.
Yeah, like, everyone says everything about, oh, Jake Mangum wouldn't let this happen. He would. Like, I mean... like, I mean, I'm pretty sure, other than, like...
I don't think any speech that he could give could make this team start hitting just line drives.
And make our pitchers come back to life.
Yeah. Like, he would slap 5 singles a game, but you know, it's not going to do much if nobody's on base.
People talk about heart so much, but you said we lost 5 pitchers. I think we may have lost 6 at this point, and it's just...
we can name them. I got Stone Simmons, Landon Sims, Brooks Auger, Parker Stinnett, Andrew Walling.
Basically.
Can't use him.
We lost someone else, didn't we? It feels like we've lost a ton. Yeah. It's just... It's been a really... We've said it like 4 times, but it really does feel like you're living out one of the, would you trade this for your team to win a championship?
And honestly, I would. I'm very glad that we won a national championship.
Yeah.
Like, I would take that, like the national championship in a bad year over 2 trips to Omaha.
But what if this bad year happens 5 more years?
Then we get a new coach and try it again. I promise you, I'm not on the fire Chris Lemonis train because that is really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I get people are like, well, he did all that with Cannizzaro's players. I'm like, he still did that. Like this.
No one else did that.
Yeah, this coaching staff like did a lot. Had the best pitching staff in the country, and say it was aided by COVID. I don't care. Everybody else's pitching staff was aided by COVID.
We didn't have Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker.
Yeah, I mean,
we didn't even have the best pitcher in the SEC. Apparently, we didn't have a Golden Spikes winner on our team. I mean,
I'm very much a fan of Chris Lemonis and all that he's done at Mississippi State. That being said, though, I mean, if you have, string together 3, 4, 5 years like this, I mean, it's only right. Our fans are going to expect more than this. But
the major issue with that would be John Cohen is gone the next time a coach is fired.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be John Cohen's decision the next time a head coach at Mississippi State is fired. And that goes, honestly, for every sport.
Mm-hmm.
That guy has to be on the closest to edge off of his seat.
Yeah, I mean, like a 6-6 or 5-7 year in football, and Mike Leach could be out of here.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it, but I mean, there's not much baseball to talk about, so let's just get it. Mike Leach is coaching for his job right here.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it's ridiculous. I mean,
say it.
No, I'm gonna go on a little bit longer before I say that. You see the pressure that Lane Kiffin is putting on it, because Ole Miss is really good. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like people don't think that enough, but yeah. Ole Miss is good right now. They're like a good Auburn good. Yeah, like I'd say that's like there.
And you can look at it and say the last 2 years, like an Austin Williams fumble and some drop balls in the end of the first half, are the reason we don't beat Ole Miss. But
Ole Miss didn't make those mistakes.
Yeah, there's still careless mistakes.
Yeah, and I mean they're going and beating people. I
mean they were a loss to Auburn last year away from
making the SEC championship.
I mean,
and what can you say? Bo Nix at home, good.
I mean, Alabama still would have made it to the SEC championship.
Would they?
Mm-hmm. Because they had the head-to-head, and they only had one loss. But so Ole Miss lost to Alabama.
I'm not sure which way the tiebreaker goes. I hate tiebreakers.
But Alabama lost only to A&M.
But Alabama had Ole Miss had the win against A&M.
But Alabama beat Ole Miss.
There was some weird... Oh, yeah. It was because Auburn was hanging extremely close to Alabama.
Yeah.
And that's what was making everything terrifying as a State fan.
Yeah.
It was like...
Wait, would Ole Miss have gone at that point?
I think so. Dude, it was scary hours for a second when Alabama was acting like they didn't know how to play football.
But I still think that Alabama would have that time.
Well, as we know, the schedule tiebreaker thing that we use is known to not work.
Yeah.
We were making up case scenarios last year, but it's like, and then Arkansas would randomly make it to Atlanta, and yeah.
But anyway, Ole Miss is a good football team.
Yeah, and they're exciting right now. I mean, they're killing it in every poll. I mean,
and you can believe this if you want to, but a big part of being a football coach at Mississippi State is beating Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
You can go 8-4 like Joe Moorhead did, and I
guess Joe. Yeah.
You can go 6-6 or 7-5 with him, but he beat Ole Miss, and so that was all you needed to do.
Yeah.
We'd be fine there. So going 7-5 like Mike Leach has done, it might look okay on paper, but he's not beating Ole Miss, and that's a big thing.
And one thing I did want to say at the beginning of this, we have the hardest schedule in the college football this year, and our head coach is coaching for his job.
Yeah. We get to play Georgia. And Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not gonna be easy.
Yeah, but this is kind of where the fun part comes in. I want to pose a question. We fire Dan Mullen. I mean, well, I just spoiled that one, didn't I? We fire Mike Leach. Do you instantly?
I wouldn't hesitate.
Yeah.
I get as an athletic director or whatever position you are in authority.
I mean, it's not going to be John
not
Cohen
wanting to do it,
authority.
but I, as a fan who is perfectly fine with
Let's
going,
bring Scott Strickland back.
That's a thought. But
Ron Polk for AD. Cigar.
But as a Mississippi State fan who is perfectly, I know our expectations. I'm perfectly okay with going 8-4, 9-3, have a year here and there where you go 7-5 or 6-6, but you have the ceiling of going 10-2 or 11-1 and beating Ole Miss most of the time. Give me Dan Mullen.
Yeah.
Please. I will.
We could probably get him for a good discount right now.
Yeah. I would forgive him in a heartbeat for his departure in 2017.
I'm not even sure if I'd have to forgive him.
I've already forgiven him.
He took his dream job.
He took a better job, and it just happened to not work out.
But he went to the SEC championship. I hate Florida. They're idiots.
I mean, at any point, you are a good quarterback recruit away from a
They have Dak
SEC
Prescott
championship
reincarnate.
game. And with Dan Mullen being a quarterback whisperer, how hard would it be to find that?
Yeah.
So I'm perfectly okay with it.
Yeah, but I mean, hopefully that doesn't happen. Mike Leach is gonna go out there and shock the world. So yeah. I guess that was a weird little football talk on there. Mm-hmm. We haven't been on that for a while. Can't wait to get back. That'll be a good time.
Yeah, it'll be really good.
Wonder how many weeks it'll take for us to be at this same level of hope.
No.
2?
I might give it just 1.
A loss to Arizona and a loss to Memphis.
Oh gosh. All right. We are going to go forward to the weekend series with Florida. Mm-hmm. And so they are a game behind us, actually, in the SEC standings. So we're at 9-12. They're at 8-13 in conference. Let's just look through their schedule. I'm going to go down.
They have a more expensive stadium than ours.
And it's horrible.
And they have no fans.
So their season in a nutshell goes like this. They lost their opening weekend series to Liberty.
Just through the weekend games. Or like any games that matter.
Yeah, they won a series against Miami, at Miami. That's good. They won 2 out of 3 against Bama, which, looking back, that's a good series win. Actually, Bama's kind of on the downturn, but lost series to LSU, makes sense. Got swept by Georgia, couldn't be me. They won a series against Arkansas, which was Arkansas's first SEC series loss in over 2 years.
That's so nuts.
Lost a series to Vanderbilt, got swept by Tennessee, won a series against Kentucky, and that is what brings us to now. Their funny thing about their midweek this past week, it was against South Florida, who won the Gainesville Regional last year. So in this midweek, they just beat South Florida 18-3, kind of a revenge game.
I think a guy hit 4 home runs in that game. Or was
for
it
South
3?
Florida?
No, for Florida.
Oh,
in this game.
I'm an idiot. I thought I said South Florida. You would have hit all the RBIs in that game.
Yeah, let me look at that.
Let's see if anybody hit 4 home runs.
It's 4 or 3. Go up. You're on the pitching stats. I guess they don't have home runs listed. Okay, just go up.
Oh, wait, they do.
Oh.
Yeah, Judd Fabian, 3 home runs. As a team, they hit 6 home runs, so that was fun. But anyway, that was just a midweek game against an inferior opponent, so kind of went as expected. But anyway, so they're coming into this, like I said, at 8-13. They're kind of fighting for their lives, too, and it's a program that has, in recent years, won a national championship, and they always seem to be at the top of the SEC, top of the nation.
They have a pretty easy path.
Yeah.
I hadn't looked at this yet, but
I mean, to get to their 6 or 7 wins, they have to win that many games in 9 games against Mississippi State, Missouri, and South Carolina. South Carolina had a series sweep of Alabama last week, which was huge for them. Missouri, I mean, a team that can hit the baseball, but
it'd be
for
the
all
defending
things,
national champions.
Yeah, but for all things considered, Florida could win that series very easily. But they do have to come to Starkville, and so that's, I don't know. They're a team that, I mean, you heard with week in and week out they can get swept by They can lose a series to Liberty, or they can win a series against Arkansas. Like they're. But Hunter Barco, which is their ace, he's their Friday night guy. He is out for the year. That is one thing to note that came up this week, and I don't know if that's an injury that happened against Kentucky. Really don't know. I just saw it come up on my Twitter, so it could be a thing like Mississippi State. Like we don't hear about an injury until 2 months after it happens, or it could have been very recent. I don't really know how their program does that, so I'm not going to speculate too much. But they're coming to Starkville. Pretty certain that we're going to go with the same pitching rotation just because I don't really think we have another option. So we're going to go Brandon Smith, Preston Johnson, and Cade Smith. And do you want to do a series prediction? Is that time for that, or you want to talk a little bit more?
I mean, there's not really much to say. I mean, I guess we can say. Saying what we need to do is kind of silly. We need the sweep.
Yeah.
Yeah. For our lives, unless we want to have to sweep Tennessee at the end of the season to get there.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, winning a series against Tennessee at the end of the season may do enough. Like, regardless of how many wins we have. Like Tennessee will be sitting there, number one, by, like, a wide margin.
Yeah. I mean, but they could lose a series to Kentucky this weekend and us in a few weekends and be the number 1 or number 2 national seed. Easily. One thing I wanted to bring up, which I don't think we brought up earlier, is that 5 of the 8 teams that were in Omaha last year not ranked right now.
I kind of hate Tony Vitello right now.
Yeah,
I know
if you remember, Tennessee was one of the teams in Omaha last year.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Virginia, and I think Stanford.
Yeah.
They're the 3 ranked teams.
All reliable.
Yeah. So us, Vanderbilt, NC State, Texas. And. Who was the other one? Don't make me forget.
Same again?
Wait, what?
Say the teams that were.
So, yeah, Tennessee, Virginia, and Stanford. And then you have us, Vanderbilt,
Texas,
Arizona. And then who was the...
Did you say Vandy?
Oh, I didn't say NC State. Okay. There we go.
Yeah,
so Arizona. But so I mean, it really is just like the SEC is dog eat dog right now, but the entire country really is. I mean, like teams that are usually top 10 in the nation are falling out of the rankings, and it's just.
And Louisville is back now.
Mm-hmm.
And they took off like 3 years after Kumar ended a man's career.
BAH. Yeah, so it's just kind of been a down year for a lot of the top teams in the country, but it should show you. I mean, it's not just Mississippi State sucks. It's a tough year in college baseball.
That's baseball.
Yeah, that's baseball.
And if I take anything out of this year, it's in a tough year like this for Mike Bianco to hold together that team. They should give him a contract extension,
please.
I mean, to win 2 out of 2 against a very good, very talented, very healthy Mississippi State team, I think a little slow clap for Mike Bianco.
I'll take it.
Just pay the man again.
Boardman gets paid.
Yeah.
In a down year like this, coming off of like a really strange roster situation last year with so many extra pitchers on the staff, I mean, I think you can see that maybe Lamonis's launch angle recruits aren't like exactly what you want in an SEC team. It's just like Tennessee last year. Like they hit a lot of home runs, but they're not suited for the Hoovers and the like TD Ameritrade or whatever the field in Omaha is called now, or Trustmark Park. They can't hit home runs in big stadiums, big parks. So
at least not yet.
Yeah. But yeah,
we gotta wait for Omaha for them to put in the juice balls.
Mm-hmm. That's right. But yeah, I mean, I think before we even have a conversation about Lamonis, not being a good recruiter, not being a good coach, give him a chance to adjust. I mean, start recruiting guys that can do a little bit more than hit home runs. I mean, Hunter Hines, it's kind of frustrating watching him come to the plate and either strike out or hit a home run. Like, there's no in between.
Kellen Clark.
Yeah.
Same.
Kellen Clark. Yeah, absolutely. It's just it's frustrating, but we'll just. I know I've said it a few times, but I promise you, I don't want to breathe the word of that because I don't want you to think that I'm seriously considering firing the first coach.
Also, it hasn't even heated up yet. Like, balls could start flying. Like, it's 99 here next week.
Yeah.
Like,
it was the 90s in Starkville the other day.
Yeah.
Like this weekend, we could see
balls may fly.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Mm-hmm. And I don't really understand.
It makes no sense. People say it all the time, but I mean,
when the sun goes down, you don't see home runs hit opposite field. And
what does the sun have to do with it? Like, the Colorado Rockies is like the most hitter-friendly park ever, and I don't think it's hot there. How does the... I get it.
The sun's always out.
I get it. It's
I don't think the sun's always out.
They don't play 7 p.m. games there. Never prime time.
Yeah, you're right. Play at 11 a.m. every time.
11 a.m. in Denver, Colorado.
All right. So, any more on the Florida series before we move on?
Yeah, I guess we need to do our series predictions.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'm gonna go. This is a stab into our heart, and our season is over. Florida in a sweep. With
Florida sweeps us? Okay. What were you gonna say with?
Can I do a player of the week?
Sure.
I'm gonna try to change the mojo here.
Kai McDonald.
Lane. Just kidding.
Might not be a bad one.
It'd be a bad one.
Might see the mound.
Maybe a real leader. Someone that can affect every time we're up the bat. Landon Sims.
He'll tell him to go to second base. Real good.
He'll do the thing. Yeah. That's my player. That's my player.
Okay.
He's not going to strike out.
You're right about that. I think we're going to win 2 out of 3 in this series. I don't think Florida's very good. We're going to hopefully have a pretty good atmosphere there. Playing two games on TV, actually. Not streaming. We're playing one game on SEC Network, one game on ESPNU, which is pretty cool. We're going to have a lot of people watching.
Both night games.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. I really do think that we're playing for a lot right here. I mean, obviously we are. Both teams are. I think we're going to be able to turn it around right here. A lot of home runs are going to be hit, probably by both teams. Looking for Preston and Cade to come back with bounce-back weeks, and hopefully Brandon Smith can bring it again. So I'm really, really excited for this weekend. I know it could be the stab in the heart, but it also could be something that turns around and gives us momentum for A&M and for the Tennessee games coming up as well. So I'm going to look one more time at our schedule before I give my player of the week. We do have a midweek after this. We play at Samford, which is kind of weird.
Are we playing at Regions Park in Birmingham or actual Samford?
Really have no idea.
If it's Regions Park, we're going to lose.
Is that a minor
league?
Okay.
Their schedule.
Okay, so I'm going to see where we're playing this game. Should we say the Hoover Met?
Worse.
We're playing, and that might be our only game in Hoover this year.
You think we'll win a game in Hoover this year?
I can't wait for the post. The Dawgs have won a game in Hoover.
Okay, remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta do that.
Yeah.
We'll beat them to it. It'll be like second inning, we have a lead.
The Dawgs have scored a run in Hoover for the first time since 2019. Oh, man.
Well, that was
we shouldn't have checked that.
If you're gonna say Hoover, not Birmingham.
Yeah. All right.
Wow, that was an adrenaline rush right there.
We made it to Hoover, baby.
We get to see what we look like in Hoover.
No, we posted a video of us on the field, like practicing before the game, and I'm just gonna retweet it and be like, "Pressure's off. The boys made it to Hoover." All right, there we go. Okay, so my player of the weekend against Florida is gonna be.
I love that interaction so much.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go Cameron James. I think we're gonna see 3 home runs from him this weekend.
Didn't you say that last weekend?
No.
Sorry, I backed up from the mic.
I think I said Luke Hancock last week.
You said 3 home runs in the series.
Did I really?
You said that about someone.
Yeah, it was Hancock, and that did not happen. So
yeah.
I don't know why I don't ever
said
say that
Brad.
About, I don't know why I don't say that about R.J. Yeager.
Like,
him and Hunter Hines are the only people capable of hitting 3 home runs in a weekend. But this weekend, Cameron James is going to do it. So, I promise you, I will put my life on it.
Okay.
I should have done that. Should not have done that. Okay.
Why in the world are we playing them in Hoover?
Why? I don't know.
Don't they have a stadium?
Almost certainly. Yeah.
They have a stadium.
All right.
It's time. Is it time?
It's time to do the thing.
Our favorite segment.
Insta
Graham
Cortions. Do you like that?
Nope.
All right, so we don't have many this week, so we're gonna make it go as slow as possible.
Because morale is low.
Okay, so we're gonna start off with a question from Football James 17. I didn't give him another nickname. Football Jimothy.
Football Tim.
Football Tim 41. Okay. Do you think it is good to have 2 sport athletes in college, or should you just focus on one sport?
Yeah, I think it's always good to have 2 sport athletes. Like Draymond Green, he played in the spring game at Michigan State that one time.
Was he the kicker?
Mm-mm.
He kicks balls.
Surprisingly,
he kicks balls.
He's a tight end somehow. What's your name your favorite 2 sport athlete?
Jameis Winston. He was a pitcher for Florida State.
Kyler Murray. Did I just one up you?
You might have.
Did Cam Newton?
Mm-mm. In our regional against Oklahoma, like the entire time, they were like, "We might see Kyler Murray play. We could see him play. He's an outfielder. He's really good, but we never saw him play." And then he got drafted. So,
who else is there? Russell Wilson.
He goes to spring training for the Yankees every year.
Like, how does that contract work?
You get to go make us a little bit of money and put even more recognition on, or put more media attention on the Yankees,
and on yourself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's all about Russell Wilson, isn't he? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Brad Cumbest.
Brad's a good option right there. Ryan Tannehill. He played wide receiver. Did that on purpose, by the way. Okay. The defensive lineman for Ole Miss that hits 3 home runs in a season. He's hitting nukes.
Only against midweek opponents.
In the 9th inning. He's a D lineman that doesn't play, and he's hitting nukes.
Hitting bombs at Swayze and getting sacks at Vaught Hemingway.
How many of those does he have as a starter for each of them?
I think they posted the video of him hitting a home run against Southeastern Missouri State while they were down 13-4, and the caption was "Cue the showers," and there was not a single student.
It's just an automated tweet.
It might have been a single student.
That was Jack Taylor under a cloud of Oxford.
All right, we were never gonna let that rant die. Okay, but James, I mean, it's fun to like talk about them because it never really seems like they're truly focused on both sports. Brad Cumbest was like actually one of the few exceptions, and I'm sure every school has some schools have like players like that you might just not hear about because we're Mississippi State fans and we don't keep up with every other team. But I mean, I think it's a good idea, but at that level, coaches really expect you to just focus on their sport. So
I just looked up the best 2 sports stars in NCAA.
Oh, what about Bo Jackson?
Yeah. Yeah.
We wrote up Jameis Winston.
Michael Vick.
What about Deion Sanders?
Michael Vick played baseball?
I did not know that.
He was drafted in the 30th round. Denard Robinson?
What the heck?
Oh, he ran. RG3.
You run track?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was like
There you go. Okay, we're going to move on to the next question. We got a question from Megan. She said, what's the SEC going to do with all these pink shirts about to start? What is a pink shirt?
I have no clue.
They probably wait till October to do that. Do that for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Andrew Nelson asks, so what are you guys going to do since baseball season ended last Sunday? Keep talking about it, I guess.
Probably getting married soon. That's on the itinerary.
Going for 2 from the honeymoon?
No, absolutely not. You will not hear from me.
All right. Yeah, I don't know what we'll do. Exactly what we're doing now.
We'll probably have more episodes over the summer than last year when we were literally
silent after a national championship. All right, and then the last question here is from Courtney Purvis. SEC team that you root for when they're not playing state? Auburn.
Yeah, grew up an LSU fan, but since I left LSU, it kind of feels weird rooting for them at times. Because I'm like, yeah, this is just who I used to root for when I was a kid, and like I disavowed them. I have to keep that in the past. But then Auburn just has this like, I don't know. I don't really understand the ability. Maybe it's because I don't like their rivals.
Yeah.
That I'm just like...
There's also like a similarity to Mississippi State in some way. Like, they're more successful in just about everything.
And their coaches are memes, which is fun.
Yeah. But it's like, I just feel like they're Mississippi State, like, in an alternate universe where they're just a little bit ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I mean... I don't know.
It's so... And then when we play them, I hate them.
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird because, like... I don't...
I mean,
Is this just because Cam Newton is, like, our favorite quarterback?
College
ever?
I mean, I sat in Davis Wade Stadium one time and watched them beat us 3-2. But...
You literally... Neither of us have any reason to root for them. Yeah. And it's just so weird.
Yeah.
That it's just like, yeah, Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I guess when they're not playing us, they're playing our rivals.
Yeah.
And like...
But I mean, so is every other SEC West team.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I went into the game where me and you both went to at Arkansas last year, hating Arkansas. My dad hates Arkansas, like, arguably more than Ole Miss. But Arkansas is sneaky, like, my other team that I would
that was awesome.
That was so much fun. It like, I mean, I make fun of the call the Hogs thing all you want to, but until you like see it in person, like in their stadium, that crap was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, and
I want to go to a game at Auburn.
And one game there, like one football game there, made me like not really hate their baseball team that much. Their basketball seems awesome. It seems like so much fun. And then football was just cool to watch.
Yeah.
And then when they're good, it's really fun. So I say all that about Auburn like earlier, but Arkansas honestly could be.
I mean, honestly, everyone in the SEC West, other than Alabama and Ole Miss, which I mean, honestly, like Texas A&M, like I don't care what they do. Like
they got cult stuff, but bucket list item to go to a game there.
Yeah,
you know, and
Florida, you go for Florida when they're not playing state.
I could, yeah. I like Dan Mullen.
South Carolina randomly.
Yeah. I mean, Missouri and Vanderbilt, I could not care less about them. But Kentucky, I could be a Kentucky fan. I don't care.
Die for Coach Cal.
Yeah. But
Tennessee,
Tennessee would be tough. Tennessee might be like Ole Miss level.
Yeah.
Like,
Tennessee and Ole Miss are just the same.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I can see that. I will stick with Auburn as my answer though.
Yeah, me too.
But it's a lot closer than I thought.
Honestly, doing that for like not just the SEC would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Just like what random school, like no attachment to at all.
Yeah.
We'll
think about that for next week.
Okay.
All right. So that's going to do it for Going for Two with Jack Taylor for this week. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you have any suggestions on what we can do to make the show better, I mean, obviously we we're kind of leaning back on the talk about previewing the series and reviewing the series. So we have a little bit of time to talk about some more stuff. But if you have any suggestions, just please DM us, let us know. But until then, we will see you guys next time on Going for Two with Jack Taylor.
Oops.
What about Kite McDoubles going to Wichita State?
See, how exactly did pressing that button do that?
Is that gonna cause our listeners to
have like a little
heart attack?
A little jump scare? Yeah. Thank y'all for listening so much.
I just catcalled all of you.